It's reveal time. I have not actually seen gameplay footage of the operators other than what they've revealed in the teaser, so I genuinely don't know how this new operator works. All I know is wheelchair.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Operation Twin Shells. I'm Camille Salazar-Hadaway, and it's time to hear straight from the developers themselves all about Year 9, Season 3 of Rainbow Six Siege. This season brings an innovative new operator and a versatile new weapon. Let's kick it off.
I'm really
with
curious
an overview
how
of the season from
the
creative
weapon
director
will work.
Alexander Karpazes.
Year 9 Season 3 is all about Operation Twin Shells. But before we jump into that, it's really important that we acknowledge that we heard from you and we haven't met the expectations that you had for Operation New Blood. And we want to reinforce that we are dedicated to this game and that we are putting more resources than ever into it. And you'll start to see that with Operation Twin Shells.
I don't know if I believe that.
Twin Shells is all about the new operator as well, Skopós. This is Curie Galanos, who's one of the original operators from Rainbow Six, and she comes with 2 shells that she can control. This is a testament to the creativity of the game and the talent of our team to come up with unique operators like this that are still game changers. We're also introducing updates to anti-cheat and anti-toxicity, which is a major priority for us for the future of the game. And we have more like the Siege Cup coming in beta phase. We also have
that's I think
balancing
PC
changes.
only.
We have After Action 2.0 coming online, and we have so much more for you. We can't wait to dig into it. So let's begin.
They're finally updating the UI after a game is
Let's talk
over
about
for the first time in like
topic
9
right
years.
Off the bat. Cheating and toxicity are not just concerns for you, they are critical issues for us as well. To address this, we've restructured our team to dedicate even more resources to these challenges. Now, to share exclusive details and updates.
They say that every time. They've literally said that every season for the last year.
Here's Alexander Karpazes and product owner
Like, we
Lance
have
Losicki.
allocated more resources. Like, okay, but when is something going to happen? I think that's been
We want to assure you that we have
loop.
more than just one security system in place. More than just BattleEye, we have 6 detection systems running at any given time so that we can catch cheaters. And we're constantly improving these
UB doesn't work. BattleEye doesn't work. Data doesn't work.
A pillar as well.
DDoS I think does work. So.
Which is binary hardening. Binary hardening is the act of obfuscating and making it harder for cheat
way too
makers
unnecessarily
to
complicated of a
access the
word.
game. Think of it like a giant library where a cheat maker is trying to find a specific book. For us, we'll be trying to change that book's location as much as possible. And even on top of that, changing the shelves and the entire library so that it's as confusing and as hard for a cheat maker as possible, so that in the end, they cannot effectively make cheats.
It's actually a pretty good analogy. I'll
when
give
it
them
comes
that.
to Siege Cup, for those that have won and have cheated, they will be banned. But of course, their teammates will have access revoked from Siege Cup as well, ensuring that competitive integrity
They're actually
remains
punishing
in Siege.
boosted
Another
players?
area of
What?
improvement is time to ban. 75% of bans are happening 12 hours sooner now. And this is something that
12
we'll be
hours
working on
sooner?
in the future to reduce
That doesn't mean
time
anything
as
if
much
it normally
as
takes them 2 weeks to
possible.
ban
As you may have
someone.
seen in our
Instead of 2 weeks,
August
it's
update for
1 week,
anti-cheat,
6 days, 12
the team
hours.
has grown in size. It's now a multidisciplinary team that is actually one of the largest in-house anti-cheat teams in the world for any given project. And for us, that means we're totally dedicated to making sure that Siege is the best it can be when it comes to anti-cheat.
In the anti-toxicity team, our mission is simple: ensuring a safe space for all players in Rainbow Six Siege. It means protecting the community from recurrent and highly toxic players, while
I think this has actually been like somewhat effective. I feel like I run into way less toxic players.
Reverse friendly fire, text censorship, reports.
I'm not a huge fan of the text chat censorship.
Commendation system.
They're adding AI,
and of
so it's
course,
going to be
the
terrible.
reputation system. Our philosophy centers around 3 key principles: transparency, understandability, and clarity. In its current state, the reputation system has some weaknesses and is not trusted by the community. This is why we decided to overhaul it. It means reviewing its structure, the action that are feeding it, and
The fuck is that graph on the bottom left?
And to be clear, a single
I
negative
don't understand
action
it.
will have a minimal impact on you. Only the recurrence of this action will affect your reputation. We
Oh.
aim to give you
Unit
access to those
breakdowns.
changes in year 9 S4. The system will remain in beta. It means no impact on standing until
Wait.
we are 100% confident it
Doing
meets
team
your
damage to
and
your
our
friends
standards
will
of
now
transparency,
lower your
understandability,
reputation.
and
It
clarity.
just said that on the right.
Additionally,
If
we
you
are
do
still
damage to your
working
own
on some very
squad, it
impactful
counts as
features
negative
that we cannot wait
reputation.
to share with you
So if
by
I
the
shoot
end of the
Evan,
year.
I get punished. Like what?
When you finish a match in Operation Twin Shells, things are gonna have a brand new look. Please welcome senior game designer Vladimir Kozik to walk you through the new post-action report. Plus, game director Joshua Mills is here to talk about boosting the abilities of your drones.
That's weird. I don't know. I don't like that squad thing.
In new season,
They changed it where
we
you
are
can't
introducing post-action
have your
report
reputation affected
in a
by your own
completely
squad,
new
and now they're
dimension.
bringing it back. It's
Instead
weird.
of operator cards, there will be a new screen with teammates represented as 3D operators located on the same map they just played.
Can we see the stats?
Here
Oh, you can. You can actually pull up the
teammates
scoreboard for
and
once,
opponents
so you can commend the
on
person who
next
actually did
screen.
well.
Instead of sequence of separated tabs, all progression like crank, clearance, battle pass, also including challenges this time, will be comfortably organized on a single page layout.
Actually, not that bad.
highlights
I remember I saw the
most
beta for this,
important
or like they
information.
showed it
I'm
a
so
long time
excited
ago, and it
with
looked
this
so
update.
bad.
I can't wait
I don't
for
like this
players
camera
to
angle.
try it out and share
They did
their
this last
feedback with
season.
us.
I feel like a child. Oh my god, I hate this camera angle even more. I feel like a child being scolded.
Reinforce our attackers. Make sure they have the tools to get the job done. Intel is king in Siege, and keeping your drone alive is crucial to getting that intel.
That drone was just moving at
Some
Mach
of the changes we
speed.
did to Solus
Oh my
helped
God.
with that, but we want to go further. We want to give more power to our players, specifically.
Bro, the anime lines.
So drone boost means you can actually boost your drone a maximum of 3 times, 3 seconds per boost. You can cancel it mid-boost to quickly evade, quickly close distances, and each boost, once expended, takes 6 seconds to recharge.
They have
So the
anime
boost
lines in
resource system
Siege
is
now.
actually kind of similar to Maverick's Torch in the sense that you can cancel the action at any time and it doesn't fully deplete the boost. So you can cut up a boost as needed, but again, you'll only have 3 full ones. Drone boost
It's an
isn't
interesting
limited
change.
to just the default drone.
I don't think it really changes
The Kludges
anything,
from
but
Bravo or even Twitch's drone
I'm not
can
gonna argue
also
against
take
it.
advantage of this feature. If Mozzie happens to get his hands on one of these drones and there's still charges left,
Wait,
so
Echo
that's the
will
key
have it as
factor
well?
here. If there's still charges on that drone, now they're Mozzie's to use. So the future of drones in
Echo drones are
Siege
gonna have boost.
is
Okay, that's
really
actually pretty
focused
cool.
on their economy, which means making sure they can survive longer, or at least giving our players the ability and the tools they need in order to make sure their drones can survive longer. They should be used more regularly in the middle and late game of the rounds, and we want to make sure that you have those tools in your arsenal to be able to make things happen.
If you like competition, this next update is for you.
this is
The
Siege Cup.
new Siege
Yeah.
Cup beta is coming this season for select players to test their 5 stacks.
If I'm not
in
mistaken, this is
intense
only
tournament
on
play.
PC for
A
the
new
season,
reward
and then
system
next
is
season
coming
it'll
as
go to
well for
console.
both Siege Cup and ranked matches. Plus, a few more interesting updates that live content director Christopher Budgeon is going to tell you all about.
I'm curious how
In
this
Year
will
9
not be
Season
filled with
3,
cheaters.
Operation Twin Shells, we're happy to announce the beta of Siege Cup. We made the decision to restrict Siege Cup beta to the PC platform because we can be much more reactive. If something happens with the Siege Cup, we can address it much faster than with other platforms. We really want to launch Siege Cup in its full form in Year 9 Season 4. Competitive integrity is imperative for Siege. That's why having a beta to make sure we can register the squads, formulate the brackets, distribute the rewards, we have to get it right.
Rewards.
To register your team for the Siege Cup beta, follow the QR code or the link that you see on the screen and get ready
They
for
blocked
news about the
the
first
link. I
Siege
can't
Cup
read the
coming your way.
link.
With Siege Cup, you have
They
to
put
register as a
subtitles over it.
5-stack, meaning that you have to bring
Oh, there it is.
4 of
Okay,
your
it's on the
friends,
bottom left.
get ready to compete until the tournament is over.
But I think my camera
Once
now
the
is
Siege Cup
blocking it.
starts,
Oh my god.
You're there, committed to the Siege Cup, to play until you get eliminated or, of course, win the tournament. We see the Siege Cup beta as our most competitive playlist, even more so than ranked, because the stakes are extremely high. The first Siege Cup will be near the beginning of Year 9 Season 3, and after the finish of the first tournament, we'll run another every 2 weeks for the remainder of Year 9 Season 3.
Okay.
In Year
A
9
bi-weekly
Season 3, we're
competition.
introducing a new currency called competitive coins. Competitive coins are exclusive to our competitive playlists, that being ranked and Siege Cup. get as far as you can within the ranks, as well as play as many Siege Cups as you can to get competitive coins to open these exclusive packs.
Charlie
In
packs.
Season 3, all console players will receive one free competitive pack. Move up the ranks, get as many competitive coins
Wait, why did
as
console
you can,
get a free pack, but we
so you
don't?
can continue to open packs in that collection.
That's not fair.
Starting in Year 9 Season 3, when you're waiting for your next match, whether it's in Ranked, Quick Match, or even the Siege Cup, you'll be able to enter the shooting range to stay warmed up, ready for your next match.
It is crazy that this
Additionally,
took
we've also
9 years to
added
implement,
a
but I'm
cover
happy they
feature
finally
within
did
the
it.
aiming lane. Now you can have covers pop up from the ground, dummies will hide behind them, and take position as you try to eliminate them as you warm up your aim. Both PC and console players will be able to enter the shooting range during matchmaking.
Good change, good
1v1s have
change.
become more popular within Siege, and that's why we've now added a 1v1 custom preset in Custom Game. There are two presets
that's
for
not
1v1s in
an
Custom
arcade
Game,
mode?
short and long. The short preset allows you to play 6 rounds with 4 rounds to win and 1 overtime round. In the long preset, it's the first to 8 rounds, but if the match gets tense and it's really tight, there are 3 overtime rounds. In both of the 1v1 presets, all maps are available. The prep phase has been lowered to 20 seconds. It's perfect for one player to get set up and
I mean,
ready
it's nice
for
that
the
they added it, like it's a
The
quality of
bottom game
life,
mode
but
is the
like
featured game mode in
it being
both
custom
1v1
doesn't, like
presets.
people already had custom
Role
playlists for
swap
this, so
every round. You play attack, then defense. This will continue until whoever
I feel like they just
finally
basically
wins
copied the
match.
1v1 playlist that people already had
With
and
every new season,
added it as a
the
default.
question arises, which operators will be targeted for balancing and how
I'm
will
really
they
curious to
change?
see how Solus
Game
gets
designer
nerfed
David
even more.
Perpignan
She already got
has all
nerfed into the ground,
answers.
she's gonna get nerfed
Less
again.
Spoilers, it's Solus, Dokkaebi, and Nook.
Nook. Is that how you're supposed to pronounce it? I've always said Nook. Nope.
We are implementing the second round of changes for Solis. We know that our previous package was a bit harsh. We've been monitoring data just to see that everything went well. What we've seen is a decrease in ban rate and also in presence, but a steady trend on win rate. This new wave of changes for Solis is based in 3 pillars. The first pillar is the detection mechanic. Now Solis will use only the center of the screen to detect the gadgets, and those gadgets will be unidentified. You won't know what they are. The second pillar is the scanning or identification mechanic. Now we call it overclock, and once you trigger the overclock, your energy is refilled, and you'll be able to see every gadget in the
you
center
have
of
charges.
the screen as identified. You'll know what they are. Aside from that, Solis will emit a warning to every observation tool in the enemy team within the range of detection, so they will know that you are overclocking and that you are seeing their gadgets. The third pillar is the energy access. Now Solis Spec IO will last longer and will require less energy to be activated while reloading. Also, these new changes give us more balancing levers that will help us adjust Solis in the future.
I'm confused.
Dokkaebi right now can generate a lot of
Oh,
pressure.
apparently that was
in the
everything.
front,
Okay, I feel like that was a
specifically
nerf,
at the beginning of the round.
but I don't know.
That's why we're taking a look to the resource management in her ability. Now, Dokka will start with 0 charges at the beginning of the round, and will get one every 45 seconds, but only up to 2 per round.
Oh.
These changes should reduce the pressure on defenders now. They should have more time to prepare their setup. And Dokkaebi, players will be encouraged to survive longer to have a greater impact in the match. Global abilities
Instead of just
like
having
Dokkaebi's
2
Lost
right away,
Point
it's just
have a great impact in the game, and sometimes
delay.
with little effort from the players. We are aware of this, and we will take a look at it in the future, being part of bigger changes for the game.
That's it? That's all they did for Dokkaebi?
So Knock is receiving a buff. We think that camera scrubbing and intel deception is how stealth should look in Rainbow, and that's what
Okay.
Knock does. The changes we are making are affecting how Knock's ability consumes energy. Instead of being time-based, they will be action-based. That means that some actions like walking won't consume any of your energy, but if you sprint or shoot, your energy will be consumed.
If you walk,
These
it doesn't
changes
waste any
aim to make
energy,
Knock
so you
more
can just
patient.
infinitely
We want
walk with
Knock
it?
to be better at flank watching, cutting rotations, and increasing the uncertainty on defenders. We want them to feel like there's a monster in the house.
So you
Knock
could
and
have a
Smokes
Nook
FMG9
gadget
is
run
getting
the
a buff.
entire
We are
round.
reviewing its recoil to make it more comfortable when you're shooting at longer distances, specifically when you're using magnified scopes. The objective of
Good,
these
FMG9
changes
kinda sucks,
is to
not gonna lie.
improve the player perception and balance of those operators while keeping
Actually,
the
a pretty good
frustrations
change for
away.
Nook.
There will be more changes in this season. For example, we're taking a look at the proximity alarm and its synergy with Sentry, and also at the delayed timer for explosions on the Claymore.
A big update
Oh, okay.
for Versus AI is coming
So
in Operation
proxy alarms
Twin
and claymores
Shells.
are getting changed
As
later.
they'll now be able to play
was very, like,
as
he
a
just subtly threw
defender
that
and
in.
face off against a squad of attacker bots. For more, here's AI programmer Ariel Moncha Delaire.
That is quite the name. So fancy.
Versus AI is a game mode designed for new players to provide them with a safe environment where they can learn and practice before their first ranked experience. In Year 8, Season 4, we introduced Versus AI for the first time.
Wait, is
Since
her
then, we
audio
keep adding
desynced?
more operators to play with and against, more supported maps, and we keep integrating more AI behaviors. This season will be significant. We're introducing
It
Versus
is.
AI 2.0. Given that Siege is an asymmetrical game, we want to give the players the opportunity to play the other side. For the first time, players are going to be able to play the defenders against a full team of AI attackers. The AI attacker
Was
team
that
will
an
feature
option? I
5
didn't
operators:
actually realize that.
Ash, Thatcher, Termite, Nomad, and Sledge.
I never
As a
realized you
defender,
couldn't play
The player
defense.
will be able to choose between 16 operators, including the new one, Skopós. New players are going to have the opportunity to learn how to react to those attackers' behaviors, but it will also give them some ideas of how to play themselves when it's
Just shot
their turn
through
to
the
play
Thatcher.
attackers. Both beginner and advanced game mode are going to offer the full match experience at launch. Similar to a casual game,
It looks weird
the
on
player is gonna
defense. It looks like the
enter as
attackers
either a
walk
defender or
in,
an
stand still,
attacker
and then aim
against
at
a full
you.
team
It's
of
like
AIs.
Valorant.
They're gonna play on one of our 8 supported maps, and after 2 rounds, they're gonna switch sides. We've heard your feedback, and we want to make sure that Versus AI gives a real feel of what it's like to play Siege.
It's now time to talk about the new operator.
Okay,
Skopós.
okay. New op.
This Greek defender brings a new dimension of tactical possibilities.
Oh, Marley,
to fight
special
over twin
guest.
shells, Talos and Colossus. For insight into the visual design of this operator, we'll hear
Oh.
from art director Joanna Sui. And
I have
for a
nothing against
breakdown
the
of
art
new
team,
gameplay
but
opportunities
I just
she
wanna see the
offers,
operator.
We'll go to game designer
I don't
Justin
care about
Lalalje
the art.
Aluwalia.
Was that the art thing?
Skopós is from
No, okay, I was like,
Era,
that doesn't
and
sound
her
like an
name
art
is
description.
Clarice, Galanos. Her visual design is really based off of her story background and the trauma that she went through. In the anime that was released from the Year 9 Season 1, in the mission there was Daniel Bogard and Jared Morris at that time trying to stop the bomb maker. In the end, you see a
When was this
giant
released?
explosion, and it was actually exactly that moment where she stopped being able to walk. Ever since then, she's a wheelchair user. She's been
I
in
do
a
not
relentless
remember that,
chase,
seeing that at all.
trying to seek prosecution to stop Deimos. All that toll took a effect on her face.
Oh.
She looks very gaunt. She have eye bags, wrinkles, and ragged hair. Skopós is a master strategist. She adapted her wheelchair into her command center like a pilot seat. She uses the shells to be part of the action. In game,
Professor
you can
X.
hear her, you can see her face when you swap between the 2 shells. When we're designing her wheelchair and the robots, we really had in mind to make sure that she feels very grounded. So we went with analog, old technology look.
Get it?
We really want to
Grounded.
establish the fact that it's not smart AI robots.
Anyways.
They're not invincible. They can be destroyed. When she loses Talos, Colossus, she's losing a part of her again. So for the design of the robots, we wanted to differentiate the 2 so you can identify them easily on the field. The difference are in the antennas, the shoulder pads, and colors and patterns are distinct to one another. We made sure
I'll definitely
to
notice the shoulder
have
pad.
the analog look by physically having buttons that you can push. They're wires that you can see, and they're not touch screens, they're not holograms, they are something that you can touch and feel.
Back when she was a field agent, Kyurei surveyed the area from afar as a sniper. Now, she still watches from a distance, but in a
This guy's
different
always
way.
so fancy.
Thanks to her new tech, Skopós is able to maintain a wide network of control unlike any other defender. That's because what Skopós brings to the field is not 1, but 2 remotely controlled robotic operators. These
Oh, it literally is
shells,
Spectre Divine. You swap
Talos
between them.
and Colossus make up the V10 Pantheon system. At any given moment, one of Skopós' shells will be in an active state, where it functions like an operator. while the other remains in an idle state, where it functions like a powerful piece of defensive utility. Skopós' control allows her
Brava
to swap
hacks a
the states of
Mozzie,
these shells,
does it hack
quickly
the
delivering
robot?
offensive or defensive power where it's needed most. Skopós' active shell works much like any other operator. It can move, shoot, and use gadgets. It's also Skopós' primary lifeline. If a shell is destroyed while it's active, Curie's link is severed, and she's functionally dead for the rest of the round. 2 bodies does not mean 2 lives.
Oh, it's
Meanwhile,
not 2 lives.
Skopós'
Okay.
idle shell will take on a defensive posture, deploying an integrated shield that functions much like a deployable shield secondary.
You have to
gadget.
actually be careful about
While
where
in
you
this
leave the
state,
other one, because
the
if
idle
it
shell
dies,
can be
you
used as an
die.
observation tool by Curie and her allies. Additionally, Skopós can access her idle shell's camera directly at any time with the gadget button. While Skopós is looking through her idle shell's camera, she'll have the option to swap shells. Activating the swap sequence will put her active shell into idle mode and put her idle shell into
Brava
active
drone.
mode. The only catch is that the active shell needs to be in a position where it can deploy its shield to perform the swap. Skopós' HUD has an indicator that'll make this easier. In fact, Skopós' HUD will display plenty of useful information about both shells, including whether the idle shell is under attack or being affected by an EMP.
It's being hacked by
Skopós is a very
Brava.
tactically oriented operator that
Says it
requires
right
players
there.
to collect
What?
data
So you
and
can't hack
quickly
it.
act on it to maximize her potential.
But if one of them
Strong
gets
Skopós
destroyed,
player
both of them
is
get
one that
destroyed,
makes
so wasn't
frequent
that...
use of her idle shell to guide the
confused.
actions of her active shell. For most players, Skopós will likely be a shallow roamer, operating near the bomb site while having the means to extend into a deeper roam or fall back and anchor as needed. If used strategically, she has the power to be one of the most mobile operators in the game. Skopós' idle shell can be a very strong piece of utility. Having the combined properties of a deployable shield and a bulletproof camera, this shield can offer a large amount of intel from relative safety.
Ooh, was that a
Skopós'
shotgun?
idle shell is most effective when placed in key areas for the defenders to hold so that it can provide information and serve as a launching point for when the enemy least expects it.
Talos coming out.
Skopós is bringing a brand new gun to Siege, the PCX-33 assault rifle.
Ooh.
Curie may not be bringing a sniper rifle into battle, but make no mistake. Her shells are
Oh,
still
the
packing
shotgun
some
that we saw
serious
was someone
firepower.
else. I
This
thought
weapon
they
is
had a
precise,
shotgun as an option.
deadly, and heavily customizable, making it a versatile tool for a versatile
Looks like it has
defender.
almost no recoil,
For a
because normally the
sidearm,
demos
Skopós carries a P229,
can't control recoil
a
that well.
throwback to Curie's days in the Greek Special Forces. Skopós also has access to secondary gadgets. These are shared between her 2 shells. Her first option is
Oh,
impact
it's
grenades,
shared.
a great choice to maximize her mobility and roaming potential. Alternatively, Skopós can bring proximity alarms. These synergize great with her idle shell, helping her know exactly the right time to take action. The Pantheon shells
I really want to
are
know how
2 health,
vulnerable you are
2
when you're
speed operators,
swapping.
having been built for a balance between
case they can shoot you
durability
before you even
and
get out of it.
mobility. Given their unique nature, Skopós' shells have a few special interactions. A good rule of thumb is to think of her active shell as an operator and her idle shell as a gadget.
Okay, so if the
First
idle one
interaction
dies, you
might
don't
wonder
die.
about
It's
is
only if your active
EMPs
one
and
dies,
gadgets
then you
that
die.
target electronic devices, like IQ. While Skopós' shells are electronic, the active shell has an active countermeasure that protects it from
Okay, so you
anti-electronic
can't be
effects.
EMP'd.
It won't completely stop them, but it will prevent Skopós' active shell from being fully disabled by an EMP.
You can't swap while
This
you're
protection
EMP'd. I
doesn't
assume you
extend
can't
to the
swap
idle
to the
shell,
other
however.
one.
Disabling
never mind.
effects will prevent Skopós from using the camera and swap features. Skopós' greatest counter is Dokkaebi. The hacker's calls are a threat to any roamer, but they also block Skopós' strongest escape plan.
Dokkaebi buff.
Additionally,
Ew.
Dokkaebi's universal hack can give her team access to the idle shell's camera.
Mm.
Brava's Kludge drone can overheat Skopós' idle shell. However, this takes a while and gives Curie a warning on her HUD. If she's fast enough, Skopós can swap to activate her countermeasures and prevent the overheat.
Oh wait,
In
what was the
addition to
overheat
being
do?
an electronic gadget, Skopós' idle shell's shield can be destroyed with explosives and similar effects, leaving the idle shell exposed for an easy kill. The glass can also be shattered, preventing allies from fully benefiting from its utility. A well-placed
still
fast
so
charge,
confused.
frag grenade, or florist drone can make quick work of an undefended idle shell. The biggest threats
Okay,
to Skopós
so idle shell
are her
died,
direct
he was still
counters,
alive.
so she benefits
Understand.
greatly from allies who protect her from them. Catchers like Jaeger and Wamai can protect her idle shell from explosives, and other denial gadgets like
It's basically going to be like set up
Mozzie, and
a
Tuber
shell
can
as a
stop many of
camera, kind of like a
Skopós'
maestro,
greatest
and then
enemies.
you just like
Being made of metal,
run around as the
Skopós'
other one.
shells can't benefit from healing effects. Doc's stims, Thunderbird's Kona stations, and Rook's armor won't help the shells. They also can't get put in a down state, and they don't breathe, meaning they're immune to toxic effects like smoke and Fenrir.
What?
That last fact can open the floor to some aggressive combos.
So they can't be
Another
healed, they
strong
can't get
approach to
armor,
Skopós
they
is to
don't
double
get
down on
affected by
intel.
smoke. Does that mean they don't get
Maestro,
affected by fire?
Valkyrie, and Echo can offer more insight
Fire
into enemy
burns, though.
positions, and even provide some distractions. That can be more than enough to let Skopós get into position and go for the kill.
Dokkaebi, you dumbass. Turn around.
Skopós is designed to embody the key aspects of being a defender: gathering information and swiftly responding to attacker strategies. Skopós brings a level of adaptability that, if left unchecked, can turn the tide on even the strongest of attacks. We'll be keeping a close eye on her in the test server and throughout the season to see what players can do with her.
I wonder what happens if you track the idle drone.
You won't see his face, ever, but you'll probably recognize his voice, as he's a big part of the Siege
Interesting.
community.
Okay. I don't know how to feel
It's
about
Marley,
Skopós.
and he's here
That
to
was
give you his own special brand of insight
interesting.
into the new operator,
Feels like
new
a lot.
balancing updates,
It's a lot.
and all that Operation Twin Shells has to offer.
All right, Marley section. It's gonna be
First impression of the new operator was definitely, oh, they've broken the game. This is it. But then when you see how it actually plays, it's amazing, it's mind-blowing, and it's definitely the most versatile operator on defense. The new weapon she's got is another assault rifle on defense. I love it. I love that weapon.
It does look a lot like the
strategy that I've found with the
G360.
new operator so far is definitely finding my typical mirror window hiding spots on defense.
That's me.
And planting one of the shells in the corner and hoping everybody walks right past it, and then switching to the shell when needs be. And yeah, the rest is history.
This is
During
gonna be
the
amazing
playtest,
for me,
the
is what I'm
hardest
hearing.
counter that I noticed, definitely feel like Flores drones are a big issue. If you're leaving your body somewhere, it's gonna get destroyed. The balancing changes
Oh,
this
you get a
season have
kill
got
for
me
destroying
really
the
excited.
idle one.
The changes to Knock are
Interesting.
really exciting. I'm going to be playing her completely differently to how I used to. I'm going to be sitting under cameras, and yeah, really exciting. And I'm glad to see the new Solace change as well. I think that's a great change. Now you'll know
Solace one I'm
when
so
there's a
confused
Solace
about.
below when you're droning, and I think that's amazing. Oh, the Siege Cup's going to be another level. So ranked is sweaty and fun and competitive, but Siege Cup is going to bring a whole new level of sweat and passion to Rainbow Six Siege that I can't wait for. Who will I want to challenge in the 1v1 custom match? What a silly question. Jinxie, I'm ready. Overall, I think it's a really refreshing and exciting season. Year 9 Season 3 is bringing what I think is one of the most exciting operators I've seen
still
in a
trying to
long
like
time.
study this
I can't wait to
Skopós
see all the
and
fun and different
learn
plays
how it
coming
works.
from
I'm
people.
still kind of
And I
confused.
just think overall, alongside the
I have a
balancing
lot of
changes,
testing to do
it's just going
tomorrow.
to be a great season, and I can't wait for it to launch.
And that's the full rundown for Operation Twin Shells, which is hitting the season test server tomorrow.
Okay, good thing I took
Jump
yesterday
in and
off.
see how Skopós, Talus, and Colossus change the way you defend a site. And as always, remember to report issues you encounter while playing to R6Fix for a chance to earn a tidy reward for your efforts. Now, don't leave just yet, because we've got one more thing for
Oh,
you.
it's the Jaeger Elite skin, but we already saw this.
Jaeger in
We already saw it. You released it early on the game. You goofed. This looks even goofier when they did the full cinematic. Alright. Available now. Jaeger Elite Skin video time. So my only concern about everything is that they had mentioned how like the biggest issues facing Siege right now are anti-cheat and cheaters. But then we got nothing this season. I know anti-cheat is complicated. I know it's really hard to do. But I'm just like, could we have gotten literally anything at all? Anything. I don't know. I guess I'll say we had this season where there was 0 content and a lot of cheaters. Next season, we're going to get a decent amount of content and a lot of cheaters. I guess I would rather that than 0 content and cheaters, so should hopefully be decent. I'm just so confused as to how Skopós works and like what counts as a kill, what doesn't, because in the video, Flores exploded the idle shell and it counted as a kill. But then having the idle shell die does not kill you. So I guess now you could technically get a 6k in Siege because you could kill the idle shell and then kill all 5 people, and you would have 6 kills in 1 round, which seems weird given that the shell shouldn't count as a life. I don't know. The only thing that confused me was the Solus update. I just don't really understand how that works. It said you'll get a warning if your thing is detected by Solus, but like, is that for everything? Like if you're planting and then you get scanned by Solus, will you then have like that icon pop up, or is it only going to be for like drones? I don't know. It feels like Solus just got nerfed even harder. I don't think she's going to be good anymore. I think she's going to be worse, but it's early. We could test on the test server and find out. Dokkaebi change was really lackluster. I felt very disappointed by that. I was hoping for like you can only call 1 person at a time, or you can only call people within a certain range. But they just made it the same thing it already is. It's just that it has a 45-second cooldown between calls, essentially. It just feels lackluster. I want more. No new map kind of sucks, but it's whatever. The Nook buff is interesting. The fact that you don't use your gadget while walking, like it doesn't drain it, is cool, because then you could actually infinitely have her gadget just walk around the entire round. I feel like I'll probably try to do that a few times. I'll try to like walk into sight slowly and then just kill everyone I can. And they're also buffing the FMG9 somehow with recoil, so it'll be good. Overall good changes, not like a huge amount. Definitely more content than last season. And I give Ubisoft a lot of shit. I'll at least give them credit for the fact that they straight up were like, yeah, we know you guys were very disappointed by last season and there was like no content, so we're actually going to give you more content now. Kudos to them for at least acknowledging it. We'll see if it ends up changing anything, like if this season is more content filled, like if there's more stuff for us to do, that would be awesome, but it could still be bad. I don't know. Dokkaebi change is kind of whack, but fuck Dokkaebi, so get wrecked. I mean, the thing is though, the Dokkaebi change I feel like is so subpar. I feel like it's not really going to change Dokkaebi. The only thing now is that you can't spam calls back to back. That's it. The R6 Cup is also a good change. By the way, real OGs will remember, they announced that R6 Cup in, I think it was year 3 or 4 of Siege. It took them 5 years for it to finally come out. I don't know, that's a long time, but hey, at least it's finally coming out. 5 years of development. Let's hope it's good. But I think that's basically all I have to talk about.